Let's all stand. All persons having any business before this honourable court now draw nigh and give your attendance, and you shall be heard.
Thanks, Jacob.
Admission of lawyers. Rowan Al-Kamashi.
May it please the court, I move that Rowan Al-Kamashi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Rowan Al-Kamashi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tara Arian.
May it please the court, I move that Tara Arian be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Tara Arian be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Genesis Faith Asuncion.
May it please the court, I move that Genesis Faith Asuncion be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Genesis Faith Asuncion be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Luke Neil Bain.
May it please the court, I move that Luke Neil Bain be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Luke Neil Bain be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Claire Louise Bickham.
May it please the court, I move that Claire Louise Bickham be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Claire Louise Bickham be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Brianne Teresa Casey.
May it please the court, I move that Brianne Teresa Casey be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Brianne Teresa Casey be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Antonio Brizio Castrignano.
May it please the court, I move that Antonio Brizio Castrignano be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Antonio Brizio Castrignano be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sienna Su Wen Chang Cavey.
May it please the court, I move that Sienna Tsu Wen Chuang Kavi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Sienna Su Wen Chuang Cavey be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Buajen Chen.
May it please the court, I move that Wojen Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Buajen Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rachel Fei Ray Shi Chong.
May it please the court, I move that Rachel Fei Ray Shi Chong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Rachel Fei Ray Chi Chong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yuanju Dai.
May it please the court, I move that Yuanzu Dai be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Yuanzu Dai be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Courtney Michelle De Silva.
May it please the court, I move that Courtney Michelle De Silva be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Courtney Michelle De Silva be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Madeline Paula Dion Isatos.
May it please the court, I move that Madeline Paula Dionysatos be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Madeline Paula Dionysatos be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Joanne Fares.
May it please the court, I move that Joanne Farris be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Joanne Farris be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Travis Colin Fleming.
May it please the court, I move that Travis Colin Fleming be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Travis Colin Fleming be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Shichi Gan.
May it please the court, I move that Shichi Gun be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Shichi Gan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Violetta Grayorovska.
May it please the court, I move that Violetta Grayorovska be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Violetta Grayorovska be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Benjamin John Gray.
May it please the court, I move that Benjamin John Gray be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Benjamin John Gray be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Stuart Davidson Harris.
May it please the court, I move that Stuart Davidson Harris be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Stuart Davidson Harris be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Peter Joseph James Hassman.
May it please the court, I move that Peter Joseph James Hassman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Peter Joseph James Hassman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ethan John Inches.
May it please the court, I move that Ethan John Inches be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Ethan John Inches be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yun Song Kang.
May it please the court, I move that Yun Sung Kang be admitted as lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yun Chon Kang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Simray Kaur.
May it please the court, I move that Simran Kaur be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Simran Kaur be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Holly Margaret King.
May it please the court, I move that Holly Margaret King be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Holly Margaret King be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Christina Kamal Kumar.
May it please the court, I move that Christina Kamal Kumar be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Christina Kamal Kumar be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yu Kwang Lai.
May it please the court, I move that Yu Kwang Lai be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yu Kwang Lai be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Dane Jack Lentfer.
May it please the court, I move that Dane Jack Lentfer be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Dane Jack Lentfer be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yunyu Lee.
May it please the court, I move Yu Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yunyu Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Abigail Catherine Leader.
May it please the court, I move that Abigail Catherine Lena be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Abigail Catherine Leader be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Angelina Elizabeth Livingston.
May it please the court, I move that Angelina Elizabeth Livingston be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Angelina Elizabeth Livingston be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Grace Isabella Maloof.
May it please the court, I move that Grace Isabella Maloof be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Grace Isabella Maloof be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Charbel Musa.
May it please the court, I move my partner Charbel Musa to be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Charbel Musa be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sophie Elizabeth Murnane.
May it please the court, I move that my sister, Sophie Elizabeth Murnane, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sophie Elizabeth Murnane be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Samuel Patrick Oakley.
May it please the court, I move that Samuel Patrick Oakley be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Samuel Patrick Oakley be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Martika Kathleen Palmer.
May it please the court, I move that Martika Kathleen Palmer be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Martika Kathleen Palmer be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Wendy Fan.
May it please the court, I move that Wendy Fan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Wendy Fan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Brianna Jane Piel.
May it please the court, I move Brianna Jane Peel be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Brianna Jane Peel be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Luca Piplica.
May it please the court, I move that Luca Piplica be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Luca Piplica be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rael Rami.
May it please the court, I move that Rael Rahman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Rael Rama be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Angie Sylvia Rizakos.
May it please the court, I move that Angie Sylvia Rizakos be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Angie Sylvia Rizakos be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarah Jane Roberts.
May it please the court, I move that Sarah Jane Roberts be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sarah Jane Roberts be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rebecca Lucy Sawyer.
May it please the court, I move that Rebecca Lucy Sawyer be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Rebecca Lucy Sawyer be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Johnny Sekulik.
May it please the court, I move that Johnny Sekulik be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Johnny Sekulik be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hannah Jane Short.
May it please the court, I move that Hannah Jane Short be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Hannah Jane Short be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Chara Jane Siriani.
May it please the court, I move that Chiara Jane Siriani be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Chiara Jane Siriani be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tianqi Wang.
May it please the court, I move that Tianqi Wang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Tianqi Wang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Eden Rosalie Weeks.
May it please the court, I move that Eden Rosalie Weeks be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Eden Rosalie Weeks be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Niku Yaya Abadi.
May it please the court, I move that Niku Yaya Abadi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Niku Yaya Abadi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yichi Zhang.
May it please the court, I move that Yi-Che Jung be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Yichi Yong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Angie Zhu.
May it please the court, I move that Andrea Zhu may be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Thank you. I also admit as a lawyer of this court Jonathan Simon Schwartz, who has completed a special process for admissions in absentia. Oh. And I may have omitted to formally admit Angia Zhu as a lawyer of this court, for which I apologise. It will now be necessary for those whose admissions have just been moved to, when and as directed, stand for the purposes of making an oath or an affirmation. So please stand when and as directed by our officer.
Rows 1 and 2, please stand. Rowan Al-Kamashi. Tara Arian. Genesis Faith Asuncion. Luke Neil Bain. Claire Louise Bickham. Brianne Teresa Casey. Antonio Brizio Castrignano. Sienna Su Wen Chang KV. Buzhen Chen. Rachel Fei Ray Che Chong. Yuanju Dai. Courtney Michelle De Silva. Maiden Paula Dionysatos. Joanne Fares. Travis Colin Fleming. Shichi Gan. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourself in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"?
I do.
Please be seated. The next two rows, rows 3 and 4, please stand up. Violetta Gray Oravska. Benjamin John Gray. Stuart Davidson Harris. Peter Joseph James Hassman. Ethan John Inches. Yunsong Kang. Simran Kaur. Holly Margaret King. Christina Kamal Kumar. Yukrang Lai. Dane Jack Lentfer. Yunyu Lee. Abigail Catherine Leader. Angela Elizabeth Livingston. Grace Isabella Malouf. Charbel Musa. Sophie Elizabeth Murnane. Samuel Patrick Oakley. Martika Kathleen Palmer. Wendy Fan. Brianna Jane Peel. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourself in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Please be seated. The final two rows, rows 5 and 6, please stand. Luca Peplica, Rael Rami, Angie Sylvia Rizakos, Sarah Jane Roberts, Rebecca Lucy Sawyer, Johnny Sekulik, Hannah Jane Short, Chara Jane Siriani, Tianchi Wang, Eden Roselle Weeks, Niku Yaya Abadi, Yichi Zhang, Angia Zhu. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? I do. Please be seated.
Well, may I warmly welcome you all to this, the Banco Court, the ceremonial court of the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench this morning, to my immediate right, Justice Hammerschlag, the Chief Judge in Equity and Judge of Appeal. To my left, Justice Stern, Judge of Appeal. To Justice Hammerschlag's right, Justice Michael Walton of the Common Law Division of the Court, and to Justice Stern's left, Justice Kavanagh, also of the Common Law Division of the Court. Together we constitute the court that has, in the exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you, the newly admitted lawyers, to practice this morning. And we have done so sitting in a court which rests on the land for which the Gadigal of the Eora Nation have cared and been custodians for thousands of years, and the court pays its sincere respects to elders past and present and extends those respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Well, to all of the newly admitted lawyers, welcome to the legal profession. Today is one for great celebration. We up here know how hard you've all worked to reach this important milestone. I'm also pleased to welcome those with you today or watching on the live stream. I particularly note the presence of my friend Professor Ron McCallum, formerly Dean of the Sydney Law School and one of Australia's most distinguished legal academics. For many of you, the support of your family and friends will have been invaluable on the journey so far. For many of them, the endurance of your finely polished or developing skills of argument and persuasion may now be at an end, or maybe not. But whatever be the case, I'm sure that they're all immensely proud of you, and I encourage you to take time to thank them today. Depending on how good an advocate you are, you might even convince them to shout you to a civilised lunch to mark the occasion. This particular ceremony is well timed to segue into the lunch hour or 2 hours. Now, in being admitted as a lawyer of this court, you join an honourable and ancient and important profession with the custom of advocates swearing an oath on admission to practice dating back to the 12th century. And this court first admitted lawyers in 1824. In May of this year, the court to which you have just been admitted celebrated its 200th anniversary. It is, you might be surprised to learn, one of the oldest continuing courts in the world. That is something of which we, and I hope now you, are immensely proud. We had a great celebration and a ceremonial sitting in this very courtroom for the bicentenary, and some very significant speeches were made. And there's a video recording it available on the court's website, and I would encourage you to watch it. You're also a very fortunate cohort being admitted in this bicentenary year, because after this ceremony, when you move to the lobby of the court to sign the roll and receive your certificate of admission, you'll also be presented, entirely gratis, with a copy of the court's recently published bicentenary history entitled Constant Guardian, Changing Times, a History of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, 1824 to 2024, as a memento of your admission in this bicentennial year. It's only about 450 pages, although there are quite a lot of photographs, but I would encourage you to read it and enjoy it. It has a wealth of fascinating information about the court of which you have each just become an officer. In celebrating the court's bicentenary, we also celebrate 200 years of the rule of law in New South Wales, about which I'll say a little more shortly. This ceremony is attended by unique but important formalities, including the fact that your admission has been moved by someone who is already a member of the profession, and that you have each made a formal oath or affirmation in the presence of your family and peers and before senior judges of the court. They and we are therefore all witnesses to the serious promises and undertakings you have made. I emphasise that they are continuing obligations. They're not just obligations undertaken today, but for your entire professional careers. The law touches every part of our society, and it can and will lead you all in many different directions and career paths. But in whatever direction you head, you must always remember that the oath or affirmation you have just made is a serious one and deserves solemn regard, so that whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, a Crown Law office, the Aboriginal Legal Service, for legal aid, or a government department or regulatory agency, or indeed in an entirely different field, you should always be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to justice, and you must strive at all times to uphold these cardinal values. Now, you'll see from the portraits of some of the former Chief Justices which hang on the walls of this court that we up here on the bench are wearing the same robes, in some cases literally, as have been worn by our predecessors. And you may be wondering why, after 200 years, we still wear these robes on ceremonial occasions. I can tell you that we don't wear them because they're particularly comfortable, which they're not. But we do so for important symbolic reasons. They serve to highlight the continuity of the rule of law in New South Wales, although importantly the judges wearing the robes are now drawn from an increasingly diverse pool. Some 45% of all judicial officers in New South Wales are now female, for example. That is a radical change from the time when we commenced practice, which I like to think was not that long ago. But whatever be the truth to that thought, it has been an extremely salutary change. As to continuity of the rule of law, in a world in which there is so much global uncertainty and insecurity, the rule of law is more important than ever, and not simply just an academic construct or a phrase of some theoretical import or interest. At its simplest, the rule of law is the opposite of the arbitrary abuse of power and the rule of autocratic dictators and populists. An independent court is an essential component of the rule of law. As we survey the globe, there's nothing theoretical about threats to the rule of law in many, many countries around the world. And so we are fortunate here to have and maintain a strong independent judiciary and a community which respects its role and the rule of law more generally. Now, notwithstanding the formality and tradition attending this ceremony, the life of the law is dynamic. Not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. The pandemic prompted a radical shift in the use of technology in our courtrooms, and the advent of artificial intelligence brings with it both opportunities and challenges with which the legal profession and the judiciary is currently grappling. But while the increased use of technology offers a number of advantages, it is my firm view that the practice of the law has human nature and human interaction and human beings at its core. An essential part of being a good lawyer is understanding people, understanding how others react to different situations, perform under pressure, and interact with each other. An individual who is in need of your services and assistance as a lawyer will in many cases be an individual facing some kind of great personal challenge or crisis affecting his or her liberty, property, family, personal well-being, or health or financial position. There is therefore a need to deliver legal services not only competently, of course, but always with courtesy, integrity, and most particularly sensitivity to the circumstances of the matter. That requires a human being with emotional and not artificial intelligence. The need for human engagement by lawyers with those needing legal assistance is also a powerful reason why there should be a strong representation of lawyers from the many different backgrounds which make up our cosmopolitan community. That very much includes Indigenous lawyers. Diverse representation amongst solicitors, advocates, and judges assists in ensuring that all people who become involved in our justice system can and feel that they can be properly heard and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broader community and a judiciary which is sensitive to, knowledgeable of, and respects the different cultural backgrounds which together make this such a rich community. The admissions ceremonies on which I have sat in the years since I became a judge, including this ceremony, highlight that there is far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than when I commenced practice. That's a very good thing, and leaders of the profession and of the judiciary are working hard to foster inclusiveness and diversity. That in turn builds trust in and respect for the judiciary, the legal profession, and ultimately respect for the rule of law. So let me now offer a little bit of professional and personal advice. As a lawyer, you will often need to make difficult ethical decisions. You must use the tools you have developed to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court and to the administration of justice. At various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor, some more serious. If we're true to ourselves, we all make mistakes from time to time, especially when starting out on something new. When you do make mistakes, your commitment to honesty, integrity, and the administration of justice means that you must take responsibility, correct what you can, and learn from those errors. One mistake which I always advise new lawyers to be conscious against making is to fall into the trap of giving your clients the advice you think they want to hear. I can tell you now that that will almost certainly not be good advice, and it's not consistent with your obligation to give independent and courageous advice as to the merits of a case or the legal consequences of actions. Telling people what they want to hear is not discharging your obligations as a lawyer. Being a lawyer means that you are now an advisor, a problem solver, sometimes a mediator, sometimes an advocate. As you go about your day-to-day work, remember, as I've indicated, you're not merely dealing with the law in a vacuum, but the law as it applies to people's lives. And that human engagement extends to your interactions with your colleagues, including those with whom you negotiate or against whom you litigate. Aspects of the law, especially if you're involved in the litigation side of practice, are necessarily confrontational. But the practice of the law is stressful and demanding enough without personal antagonism between practitioners adding to the load, as regrettably it sometimes does. So it's essential that in your practice you maintain your detachment, balance and good humour, remembering importantly at all times now that you are members of a profession, which is different and not a business. A profession is conceptually very different, and you're members of a profession with all that word entails. Another thing you should remember is that the best advocates can and do make their point simply and succinctly. Often less is more. Some of the most experienced lawyers and judges could also use that reminder from time to time, and I don't wholly exclude myself from that observation. For a non-lawyer, the law is often incomprehensible or at least very difficult to understand. One of your roles, important roles as a lawyer, will be to make the law accessible to others. So strive to be clear and concise at all times in both what you say and in what you write. To do so facilitates access to justice. In the practice of the law, your physical and mental health are both extremely important. This is something we have far greater appreciation of and respect for than was perhaps the case 30 years ago. There may, and I dare say will be times when you feel a little overwhelmed, burnt out or distressed. Legal practice can be all-consuming and physically and mentally taxing. That's often because good lawyers, good conscientious lawyers, want to go the extra mile for their clients. They want to make sure that the advice is comprehensive or that the brief is fully prepared, ready for argument, etc. And that's, of course, admirable and not to be criticised, but it can become, from time to time, all-consuming and physically and mentally taxing. So you must work hard to keep your balance and keep your eye out to ensure that your colleagues do so as well. If you do get overwhelmed by it all, as frankly we all have and still do from time to time, try to take a step back and recapture some perspective. Also remember that the law is a highly collegiate profession, and in that spirit and context I'm now going to call upon two young representatives, one from the New South Wales Bar Association and one from the Law Society of New South Wales, to offer a few brief words of welcome and encouragement. Dr. Townsend, you move.
May it please the Court, I begin by respectfully joining in Your Honour's acknowledgement of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, their elders past and present, and other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, including those who may be present here today. My name is David Townsend, and I have been practising for 4 years at the Bar, predominantly in commercial law, equity and class actions. Admittees, on behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you to the legal profession. The legal profession is an old profession based on precedent and the rule of law, while also being a profession that grows and develops to adapt to new practices and technology, and importantly to society's values as they change over time. For several decades now, the composition of solicitors and barristers in New South Wales has changed to better reflect the community. The Bar today is a welcoming place for people of all genders and backgrounds. Admittees, the person who walked into this courtroom today is not the same as the one who will walk out. You entered as a student at law, but you will leave as a lawyer. An officer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, one of the oldest institutions of justice in the country, and as the Chief Justice has just remarked, in the world. It is an honour to be a lawyer, and in my case, a barrister. Along with the government, the police, the judiciary, and others, lawyers are the columns on which the whole edifice of the rule of law is built. I am proud, as I hope you will be too, to be a member of the legal profession. As a barrister, I get to work with intelligent people, many of them my opponents, to use reason, common sense, and humanity to help the court to arrive at solutions to difficult problems of law. It's a serious responsibility, and it can be quite a challenge at times. But it is very satisfying to know that I can help my clients by giving expert advice and by appearing and speaking for them before courts like this one. As a barrister, I sometimes feel that I have, in Theodore Roosevelt's words, won what is far and away the best prize that life offers, the chance to work hard at work worth doing. Many come to the Bar after several years' practice as a solicitor first, and there is great value in learning how to litigate as a solicitor before taking on the role of being a barrister. However, you should not assume that there is some sort of set path to the Bar. I, for instance, came with more experience as an academic than a solicitor, and more overseas than in Australia. In fact, along the way, I've been, at times, both a zookeeper and a leader of wine tours in Italy. So make of those experiences what you will. But the point is that people come to the Bar by their own path. On commencing as a barrister, I found myself actively welcomed by my more senior colleagues and wonderfully supported by my tutors and colleagues, many of whom have become close and genuine friends. In fact, through coming to the Bar, I even ended up meeting my wife, whose admission I moved in this court just a couple of months ago. I found that the experiences that I brought to the Bar were valued by my colleagues and have found that my own professional life is enriched by the diversity of backgrounds and experiences of my fellows at the Bar. If this sounds like your kind of place, I would encourage you to consider joining the New South Wales Bar too. I think you might enjoy it. If you're interested in coming to the Bar, you can contact the New South Wales Bar Association or have a look at its website, and each year there is a Career at the Bar open day. In your first year of practice as a reader, you receive particular assistance from 2 barristers of at least 7 years seniority who meet with you weekly, review your work, and teach you practical skills. But the support you receive is not limited to those 2 barristers. The Bar is renowned for its collegiality, especially in chambers. There are also opportunities to become involved in the work of the New South Wales Bar Association, which is the professional body that supports barristers and has a range of committees, including the New Barristers Committee, which organises social and educational functions for 0 to 5 year barristers like me. I'm one of the chairs of that committee this year, and a Diversity and Equality Committee, which promotes one of the key strategic goals of the New South Wales Bar Association to attract the best people to become barristers, regardless of their race, religion, gender, parental status, or sexual orientation. Whether as a solicitor or a barrister, I encourage you to get involved in the Law Society or the Bar Association and to use your skills to assist your community. It is a rewarding experience to practice in connection with others in your profession. Once again, on behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you to the legal profession, and I congratulate you on your admission today as a lawyer of this Honourable Court. May it please the Court.
Ms. Chebbo of the Law Society of New South Wales.
May it please the Court. My name is Asia Chebbo, and not so long ago, I stood precisely where you are standing today. You are here being admitted to the Supreme Court role as the final step of what I know to be a very long and arduous journey for both you and your loved ones. When I embarked on my career as a solicitor, I had no real idea of what to expect. It was not always easy, often it was overwhelming, and truth be told, sometimes it still is. But as I stand here today, going on to 2 years post-admission, I can safely say I've learnt a thing or two. And one of the most valuable things I've learnt is the importance of belonging to a profession. You simply need to look around the room today to see that the legal profession is an increasingly large and diverse community, and one to which you now belong. The Law Society of New South Wales is home of that community, with over 42,000 members spread across the state. As members of the Law Society, we are bound by our shared duties, our commitment to learning, our drive to give back to the community, and most importantly, our responsibility to uphold the rule of law. As an early career lawyer, I have found that belonging to a strong network of peers is crucial, and that is why I've been part of the Law Society of New South Wales Young Lawyers branch for the past 3 years. Here, I have found like-minded peers who've offered guidance and support and friendship, as well as being fortunate enough to be given opportunities to advocate for impactful change on legal issues facing our community. By joining the Law Society of New South Wales and the New South Wales Young Lawyers branch, you too will gain access to professional support, a wide range of publications, mentoring, and a connection to the broader legal community. It is the role of the Law Society to ensure that you, as a newly minted solicitor, can thrive and succeed in your new profession. Now, I'm going to keep it short because I know you're all eager to go downstairs and sign the roll and get that shot outside of the Law Courts building. But if I could leave you with just one thing to take from today, it would be that although at times you may feel as though you've lost sight as to why you started on this journey, you must remember that in a world full of injustice, you, as officers of the court, now have the platform to be the change that you wish to see in the world. So once again, I congratulate you all on your admission to the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and we look forward to welcoming you into the Law Society community. May it please the Court.
Thank you. Well, can I just say this to you all in closing? The law is a wonderful profession. It's stimulating, challenging, and satisfying, and it's populated by dynamic, intelligent, and committed people such as yourselves. You should be proud to be a lawyer, proud of your achievements to date, and proud of the profession you have just joined. It is a very important profession that underpins stability and cohesion in our community, and you are each now a very important part of that very important profession. So work hard, take pride in your work, look out for your colleagues, contribute to your community, and don't take yourself too seriously. We wish you all the very best of luck on the exciting journey that lies ahead and a full and rewarding career thereafter. On behalf of Justice Hammerschlag, Justice Stern, Justice Walton, Justice Kavanagh and myself, and indeed all of our colleagues on the Supreme Court of New South Wales, I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal community. The Court will now adjourn.
All stand. This Honourable Court is now adjourned.